Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Taste of Reality. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, and this is a different kind of video. First of all, your girl has makeup because you know I don't care to do that. And second of all, I have a guest. This is my friend, Denisha. Denisha, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Denisha. I'm a friend of Queen E. I don't really know what to say in terms of credentials, but I just really love Ready to Love. You know, Elaine put me on, and so we are always talking about it off camera. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about this season because shenanigans. But yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let me just turn down my volume just in case there's feedback, but we should be good. All right. So basically, I wanted to talk about the last episode, but mainly the season at large. We're gonna have to give them an honest review. Okay. I know sometimes on my reviews, I try to be PG. I try to be, not that I'm not gonna be PG, but like I try to err against being biased towards certain things, but not today. Today we're releasing the clip. All right. We're releasing the clip. So as always, before we get into it, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, support your girl, and let's get into it. My first question is, why are there no solid connections this deep into the game? What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like people are playing it safe this season. I don't think it's as deep as if you choose someone, you're going to have to stay with them. And I think that if people were to be like, okay, if you tick off enough, actually, I don't know if this is also the case too, but it seems like not a lot of people's like core values align either. So like for Mumin,
I think it's Mumin.
Mumin, okay, yeah. Like for her, like I know she has very specific goals in terms of dating and how she goes about it. And I know for others as well, or people aren't even disclosing like what their expectations are with the dating. So I think that there's a lot of just like, it feels like almost like secrecy. Like it's almost like people trying to be mysterious and acting surprised that now they have to like make a decision. So
yeah, I would say, so you said playing it safe. I honestly just think they're playing. I really doubt the majority of this cast came to find love. I think they came for a platform. Ready to Love has proven to help propel a couple people's careers, and which is great. Like, of course, more visibility garners those kind of opportunities. However, the root of the show was supposed to be for love. You come here ready, willing, and able. A lot of the people are not ready, not willing, and very incapable. And I'm just like, okay, so in my opinion, you're almost risking the platform that you feel like you're going to gain, because if you come off looking like a jackass, it's counterproductive to what you came here to do. Why not come and be that person who's so genuine in the reason why they're here? And then people fall in love with you for who you are at the core. I get it. There's a lot of production intervention. We understand. But I really look at these people. I'm like, you didn't come here for love. You didn't. Some people come here saying one thing, end up like doing another. Like Mumin, I love her, but her values are not aligning with who she's choosing to pursue. Same thing with Walter. Walter, no offense, but like Walter is like, oh, you know, I want kids. I want da-da-da-da. Why Sabrina? I know their resumes make the most sense, but why Sabrina? Like, I don't know. I'm just like, if you came here to play, just say that, or just don't come at all.
I find it hard to believe that they all came to play only because...
No, I didn't say all. I said
majority. Yeah, like I find it hard because like for the people who I can think about coming to maybe play it safe, like it's either if they did do that, it's now biting them in the butt because now they look like really indecisive. They don't look reliable. Phil. So like I don't, and then like there's so many strong personalities this season that I'm just like, if they thought that they were playing a game, like they look terrible on screen. So I think the majority of them actually thought that they were ready to love, but when they got there, I don't even think that they've arrived yet, that they are not ready for love, but visibly, like as the viewer, I don't think anyone there is really that serious, except maybe Sabrina, but she just has a lack of like options. But Yeah.
Okay, so since we're talking about Sabrina, I saw some people talking about her as well, and how, you know, now that she revealed that she had the past as a dancer and she found confidence in, you know, being on the stage, being that temptress kind of, you know, being in that environment in general. Do you think the reason why it seems like she has lack of potentials is she is so gung-ho on finding somebody? So like for me, I didn't think that her being like, oh, like guys don't reach out to me and I have to reach out, I have to do whatever, had anything to do with her history. But I was watching this one video, and I'm just playing devil's advocate for this person. But they were basically saying they believe that her confidence being built by attention from men, receiving the male gaze, is why now she is so aggressive in wanting to keep receiving that. Do you know what I mean? Is what I'm saying making sense? Again, I am
sense.
saying I'm playing devil's
know.
advocate for that person because I don't believe that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can kind of see how they came to that conclusion. Like, if you find confidence, or if your confidence was built initially by people seeing you as desirable, I can see how you would kind of suffer in this environment where it doesn't really seem like you're the desirable one, and then turning into the aggressive one, being like, I'm hitting up this person, that person, this person, that person. It's like, girl, it's okay to just have the one.
Did she say that that's where her confidence was built? Because I can still see it as, oh, she did say that.
So in this last episode, she said she used to get bullied a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and she joined a gentleman's club when she was 18 because she was very insecure and stuff like that. And she needed to make money. And in becoming, you know, a dancer, being that girl,
yeah,
it made her self-esteem get boosted.
Maybe. I still have an issue with committing to that thought, but I think also it's just life. So maybe she knows. I think once you're in an environment like that, you kind of know how men are. You know, like it's almost like that movie that came out with Jennifer Lopez, and I know Cardi B was in it.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Hustlers. Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, when you're in that field, you have to kind of understand how men work in different aspects of their life and stuff. Maybe that just made her a little bit more observant, but I think that life probably has taught her to be like, go after what she wants. Cause I think she also has like a fashion line as well.
I don't remember.
She didn't mention it. I went on her socials. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just part of her personality. And then she also comes off as like a mama bear as well. So I could see that maybe translating.
Yeah. I was listening to that perspective and I'm like, okay, let me ask Tanisha. Maybe it's there. I don't know. I would think being Sabrina, I actually wouldn't be chasing these men. If I don't hear from you, then I don't hear from you. That's to me. I feel like in this day and age, like me and Sabrina are peers, but in this day and age, like I'm going to reciprocate what I receive. And if you're not showing me interest, I'm not going to pursue you. I'm sorry. I'm the woman, and I believe you show me interest, I will reciprocate. I will not be hounding you down to be like, hey, you still like me? Do you still like me? Do you still like me? That child.
Maybe I'm missing something, but Sabrina didn't come off that way unless it was like, I know she mentioned that off camera.
No, I'm saying beyond that.
Yeah.
In this day and age, like I don't even have the will to be messaging guys to be like, hey, haven't heard from you and date. Like, that's exhausting.
It's only if I really like them, maybe, even still unlikely, but like only if I feel like, okay, this might actually could work and you might be busy. Let me just show you I still have interest. But after a while, it does get old very, very quickly.
Okay.
But yeah, I was going to say about Sabrina though, like I know she mentioned like in her confessional that she felt like she had to chase some of the guys, but when she's on the date, it seems like she's very, unless she has a strong opinion, like that one guy who's what is he writes, like I feel like she lets the man be kind of like a man. So I don't know.
Okay. So someone who doesn't really let the man be a man is Camille. Sorry, had to say it. Camille and Cornelius, they are the only couple, I guess you could say, right now to come out of the show. What are your thoughts? I'll give mine first. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows for me, I feel like Camille was over the top. Whether it came to the way that she handled the women, the way that she had her facial expressions and attitude in the confessionals, in the presence of other people, and the way that she treated Cornelius. I felt like she loves being the alpha person. And I've chosen to just stop fighting Cornelius's battles because he constantly chooses her. So obviously it must not bother him. But I actually think they could work if they outlined clearer boundaries. Because regardless of whether you're an alpha male, beta male, alpha woman, submissive woman, whatever you want to say, the way that she spoke to him at the pool is absolutely unacceptable, no matter the kind of person he is. Yeah. In my opinion, unless you've been married 15 years or whatever, and like this is y'all's banter, I felt like that was very disrespectful. And then at the table, when they were at the retreat, and she was like, oh, I'll F somebody up over him. I really would look at you like, are you deranged? Are you okay? Yeah. And I'm just like, Cornelius, baby, fine, you can be okay with her being the dominant in y'all's relationship, but you really got to outline what is and isn't okay, because what we've seen ain't okay.
Yeah. Oof, if they could work. Ugh.
So you don't think they could work?
No, because it doesn't seem like he's able to get a word in. Like, it seems like he kind of just follows after her. And if that's what he's into, that's fine. But there's too many instances where he's just like, mm-hmm. Oh, here's the necklace. Thanks.
Like, and not even that, he's almost like afraid of her. He's like, oh, don't make me answer that, because Camille, don't make me answer.
Yeah, like, it doesn't seem genuine at all. Like, it seems like, I don't even know what really is the appeal to Camille other than like definite attraction.
Because girl is,
she's banging. Stunning. Like, she looks good. Like, yeah. Amazingly but other than beautiful. That, he doesn't like. I just don't see it. I just don't see happiness. Like, it's just first of all, there's other people in this world who you're going to find attractive. Like, is he always just supposed to like keep his neck straight the entire time? Like, yes. That just.
Yes, he is. Yes.
That ain't right.
The blinders on when it comes to messing with Camille. Blinders on.
That ain't, and then I'm thinking about, okay, what if they start a family together? Or like, what does co-parenting look like? Or like him being a step father to her son. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I at first was like, absolutely not going to work. This has potential to be abusive, like emotionally abusive. But then I was like, you know what? There are men who like this. And as long as she don't lay hands on him, as long as she doesn't isolate him from his family, like she doesn't, induce mental warfare when it comes to him. Mm-hmm. All the best to you, baby. All the best to you. Here's my other question when it comes to that. So the whole premise of the show is to find your person, right? At what point are you supposed to find your person? Because right now we could argue that Camille had found her person, yet her and Cornelius were not able to proceed in the experiment. So like, what is the point of the show?
Well, there's a lot wrong with the show, as I've mentioned before. And I think like the biggest thing for me is like, I want to know why these people the way that they are. There's only like, unless they share where they're coming from, like how they were brought up, maybe some traumas or like triggers that they've had in their past, or, I don't know what gets them going now. Like, there's not much insight, and like a lot of their interactions are very surface level. Like, there's not a lot of situations, except where I can say with Bronx, what's her name?
Aisha
and Mr. Clean, Dante.
Okay,
yeah. Like, I feel like their connection made sense because it was kind of like, it was it was like conflict, and you got to see how everyone acted in that conflict. And he was just like, okay, I like the way that she handles herself. Let me like cater. I feel like that made sense. But in terms of other people, there's not a lot of like pressure in the relationships. It's like a lot of the questions aren't very organic. And that's how the one girl got like voted off. Well, not voted off, but like the one girl came off the show like the first 2 episodes or something, the one with the braids. She was with Dante.
She was with Dante.
Yeah, and she was just asking Dante all these questions, and he was just like, okay, is this an interview? Like, what's going on?
I genuinely don't remember.
No, okay, she was not that memorable, but okay, yeah, anyway, so she was from like earlier episodes, but I feel like, yeah, it's not very organic. I think a lot of people are comparing, like they're focusing on comparing to other people as well, and not just, again, like just sticking to someone and going for it. But I will say what Camille and Cornelius did, I see nothing wrong with it. If like they already put all their baskets into, or eggs into each other's basket, so like why not just go if your person is also leaving? So
no, definitely, but I'm saying like the whole thing of when they eliminate someone is you're not ready to love. Essentially saying you haven't found your person in this experience, right? So when you still have people at that point, Zadia was still in the situation, Naeem was still in the situation, Phil is like people who still had options, whereas these people found their person. Like we're going into the last episodes, and I cannot tell you one solid pairing. I can't.
Yeah.
That, let me move on from this question, child, because I'm just irritated. Does Walter, I should have talked about this earlier. Did Walter choose Sabrina, or was she the fallback?
Fallback.
I agree.
Yeah, which is a shame, because I thought he would actually be more attracted to her than Mumin, because they seem like they're more like on each other's wavelength or whatever. And more mature than his dynamic with Mumin, because after that scene at the retreat, like that was really uncomfortable.
It was giving, I just disappointed my daddy.
Yeah, it was very
and I mean daddy, not zaddy, like my dad, my father.
Yeah, that was very uncomfortable to watch. I never saw that part of her before. I didn't even think it was in her, but yeah, and then Sabrina was just kind of there like, okay, well, whatever, like, you know where home is. So yeah, yikes. I think they look really good together, and I think that they will be really good friends after this, like everybody else in every other season. But I don't see longevity.
Okay, so then my next question, I also believe she was a fallback. My next question is, should Mumin continue to pursue Frank? Because I also feel like that was a default too. And why hasn't he made his decision between Mumin and Sydney? So I think, based on what we know about her, you shouldn't have even looked in Frank's direction. Okay, period. That's number one.
Like,
number two, I feel like he hasn't made a decision because, and this is me jumping into his head, he hasn't said anything, but I think Sydney is who he would want now, and Mumin is who he would want in the long run.
He has insinuated to that, yeah.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, like when they were on the hill, I think they were near the Washington.
The monument, I think.
Yeah.
We're Canadian, child. We don't know.
Yeah. But when they were near there for their date, like he was making mention of how like he can see himself with her, or like she's someone that he can like settle down with. Whereas him and Sydney, like they're in the same groups, like they're into the party scene and like stuff like that. So I agree with that. Yeah.
To me, it's kind of annoying because it's like, choose what, like choose your destiny. If you choose Sydney and you know that she's a short-term girl for you, that's just the risk you have to take. And I feel like you keeping Mumin in your back pocket because you know fooling with Sydney right now makes sense for you, but then you know you want somebody like Mumin in the future, get with Mumin then, and then like accept the reality that you would have to change, or you would have to make concessions in order to make a relationship with Mumin work. Because stringing them both along, even though Sydney, that's a controversial thing in its own, but we'll get to that. Stringing them both along at this point, I feel like is a disservice to either one.
I think
more so to Mumin, because Mumin is like, I'm trying to find me, you know, my forever with Frank.
Yeah.
And why didn't Naeem and Mumin ever vibe? I feel like maybe that would have worked more. Because really, I'm questioning Mumin altogether, because Corey, Walter, Frank. My whole thing is I don't like when guys feel like, let me keep my options open until my hand is forced.
Yeah.
Because you are not, like, I felt like he even said, oh, but you were entertaining Walter. Okay, you have no right to have a problem with me keeping my options open. So what do you
But that's very contradictory, since he was always like, only recently Mumin and him have been like, you know, going somewhere stable. So
no, I think well, that's another problem with the show. There's a lot of behind the scenes that we don't get to see and they don't catch us up on. But it kind of started when they went out on that date, and then he said, well, I'm hypersexual and sex is important to me in a relationship. And if that was not a sign to run, child, I don't know what could be. But I feel like for a while they've kind of been steady. It's just they focused more on the connection with him and Sydney.
Okay. In that case, it's not feasible.
No.
Unless like her values aren't really that valuable to her and she's willing to go a different way with like dating and marriage and stuff, go for it. But if she's like, if this is her core thing, then like Frank ain't it, and that's okay.
And it's sounding too with the trailer that Papa ain't gonna be about it either.
No, and he shouldn't. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. Okay, so is Sydney here to find love, or is she playing a game?
Oh, poor Sydney. I think she's trying to find love. I think she's trying to find a connection. I don't know about love. I think she's trying to find a connection.
A connection. I'll go with you on connection.
Yeah. I don't know if I would even let love enter the chat at this point with this season, but definitely a connection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think, okay, so I think she's here to play a game, and here's why.
This it's the outfits, girl, right?
Huh?
It's the outfits.
It's not it. No, it's really not the outfits. It's the demeanor. I need a handbook from Sydney, because the way that she has harnessed her feminine energy and knows how to exploit it in a way to get these men like silly putty. I need the handbook, child. I need it.
Yeah.
But when I look at Sydney, I see a woman who's like, how far can I go with this? And she was into Sean at the pool, and then she was into Dante at the whatever art gallery thing. And then she's been into Frank consistently for a minute, but recently we saw her wanting to pursue Phil. The reason why is because she was like, oh, I saw this fine man at the pool and he wasn't paying me any attention. And that really intrigued me.
That's exactly as she sounds.
Girl, that being ignored intrigued you? Yeah. From that moment on, I was like, oh, she loves to play the game. She loves to see, so can I get you on side? And once I do, how far can I take this?
Okay, because, yes.
Uh-huh.
But I think she also has an advantage over the other women, where she can be a little bit more aloof, because for one, she's like the new thing.
Yeah.
Two, she's not expected to have as deep as a connection as everybody else because of the time that she's been there. So I think she doesn't
it turns out she is, because Phil is out here talking about we've had such deep conversations and la-di-da-di-da.
You know, he did open up to her, and he doesn't really open up to anyone. So I will give him that. Like, he did He did. He did.
No. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying he didn't. Okay, this is my controversial take when it comes to Phil.
Uh-oh.
Phil is that really nice guy, that good guy. And, you know, a lot of women liked him in the show because he's a breath of fresh air, right? In the real world, listen, y'all could attack me if you want to, but I'm going to say it. In the real world, I don't think Phil would have this much success with women. It's giving me kind of like the nice guy who like you would love to give him that attention, but like you got Dante looking at you, you got whoever looking at you, and you just like, let me go over here and see what they talking about. Even though you know the better choice for you is Phil, I feel like he gets overlooked a lot of the time. So in this situation, he does look more desirable because he seems more serious. He seems more emotionally intelligent than some of the other guys. At the beginning, he did to me. Now, yes. Well, I've been fooled.
Yeah.
he definitely seemed more nurturing when it came to listening to the women's stories and all this stuff. Like he was a breath of fresh air, right? Because then you had people like Carrington who wasn't listening to anybody's opinion. And then if you juxtapose that with Phil, of course, he looks like the shiny thing to go for. And then when I think of Sydney pursuing him, it reminds me of like the popular girl in school who would be nice to the
You know what? That show that I keep telling you to watch and you're not watching, it actually, I could see the parallels there with like this one couple where the girl is just like absolutely beautiful, complete beauty standard. And then it's like the dorky guy, but she goes after him because like, yeah.
And I'm not even trying to say that Phil is ugly. Y'all remember from the preview of the season, I was like, oh, Phil, stellar. Phil is stellar. But I do think it is because of the characteristics that he has and not
physically.
Anyways, let me move on.
No, don't move on, because here's my thing with Phil. I don't think he's as innocent as you're painting him out to be.
Oh, no. I'm talking about pre-episode 7 Phil.
Okay.
Because I'm late. I think Phil's starting to feel himself, you know, the Caribbean say you smell yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been starting to smell himself, and he loves the fact that he's a hot commodity. And I feel so irritated because he had a good thing going on with Shiloh, and Shiloh isn't really one of my favorite people. I don't know why I can't hop on the train of Shiloh, but I don't know. But what he had with her was good. And the way that he low-key curved her and then all of a sudden gave himself to Sydney in a way that I would have thought Shiloh would have experienced him in that way. So Shiloh was just asking, yo, where do I stand with you? Oh, you know. Listen, y'all already know if a nigga can't tell you where you stand, you don't stand.
Girl, you're not even in the running. But okay, here's my hot take on Phil. I don't think he's the nice guy, even from before. I think he's very calculated in his response, and I think he knows how women want to be treated, and so he performs in that kind of way. Same thing with Aisha. I know what he physically did was like all cool and like really supportive, but I don't know, he just seems so emotionally detached from that situation with her and just kind of went in because like, what are you supposed to do when someone's crying? Like, you're supposed to console them, so that's what he did.
No, somebody else can sit across the table and be like,
Yeah, but you know, once you're like operating up underneath the guise of like, I'm a good guy, or like, you know, I'm charming or whatever, like you're not gonna let your cover be blown. And I don't think he's as strategic as that, but I just don't think he's as emotionally intelligent as he's making people seem like he is, and stuff. And then like also, I don't know if I would necessarily coin him as an F-boy either, but even the fact that he's been telling production he knows who his rankings are, but he wouldn't tell the ladies that. That's trash. Like, that ain't right. Why are you sitting on that information for? Like, So yeah.
What do you think is the difference between his connection between Shiloh and Sydney? Because to me, I did feel like he does know how to show up for the women in their vulnerable moments, but we didn't really see much vulnerability from him, if you really think about it. And all of a sudden, Sydney comes around and he's talking about, oh, I'm able to open up and stuff. And granted, we all know this thing of like, oh, for the right person, you know, that person's going to act right for them. So sure, maybe he really sees Sydney as the right person. But I honestly think the reason why he's been diving in head first with Sydney is because it's nice to have that hot thing beside you. I'm sorry. And this is not to diminish Shiloh in any kind of way. It's not to diminish her in any kind of way. But I think Shiloh is really like ready. Shiloh is really in. Shiloh is really like, it's about longevity with Shiloh. And with him, with Sydney, it's kind of like, let's have fun. Let's look like a cute couple. Let's go out. Let's be out of town. Let's do whatever. And he might be misconstruing that temporary attention for like, oh, she's really into, like, she really wants this. I think you're being played. I think he's being played.
You think he's being played? I think he's an active player. Yeah, I think he's an active player. I don't think he's looking for anything serious. I think he likes Sydney, yeah, because she is beautiful, but also because she's very aloof. And I feel like he's the same kind of guy where he seems like the type who is into like being about his business because he's like a marketing exec and like having, you know, someone fun at home rather than having like a responsibility or like expectations, which would come with Shiloh. So
I guess it's so hard for me to detach from the way that I was introduced to Phil. Like I really was, he was my number one draft pick. He really was.
Same. From the time he shared that story about him and his mom and stuff like that, I was just like, yeah, he seems like he's ready. But from the time he did like that, the multiple dates with the friends, I was just like, oh no. Yeah. It was a disaster from there.
Oh boy. So who was in the wrong when it comes to Dante and Zadia?
Zadia. As soon as you become physical, like now you're like, your sympathy, it's like it's no longer there. Like I can't empathize fully with you anymore because you took it there when you didn't have to. Yeah. I do sympathize though with where she's coming from because I can see why she feels the way that she feels, but it was backed up with too much entitlement, especially when she herself did not make a decision. So I feel like she was mainly upset because it was Aisha. I think if it was anybody else, she would have been like, okay, then let me just add more pressure to Naeem or something.
You can definitely sense some animosity between her and Aisha. Well, I really feel like it's her to Aisha because Aisha's like, bro, I should just be here. Unless we're missing a part of the storyline, it definitely seems like it's Zadia towards Aisha. The worst thing you can do is have someone dead to rights and then you push it over the edge to where all the wrong that was done to you is null and void. I feel like Dante definitely did flip the script on her and did not communicate that to her. And this is a message to the men who might be watching this, and women if you have this tendency. People are not upset that you have interest in multiple people or that you lose interest in them. People are upset when you don't clearly and concisely communicate that, when you start to feel that way. I don't care that you lost interest in me. I want to know when you lose interest in me so that I can choose whether or not I'm trying to stay here and be played or move on and cut my losses. So yeah, I was very irritated for her in the fact that he assumed that he was playing second fiddle. And she was like, I was about to choose you. Okay, we'll go. You should have chose him. Okay, you should have just chose him then. But he jumped ship and went over to Aisha and he didn't let her know that she was going to do that. So just she's justified in feeling hurt by that. That does not warrant putting hands on him.
Yeah, especially after the fact, she was laughing about it and she didn't care, and like at least be embarrassed by your actions. And
at least be embarrassed.
And she wasn't. So I can't even side with her. Like, I get it, communication is everything, but at the same time, I wonder if it wasn't Ayesha, would she care as strongly? Or the fact that she got rejected on camera. Like, I feel like everything, according to Zadia, is like ego more than anything. So yeah,
I would say ego as well. And it's kind of frustrating because she left. Like, girl, you were in the clear. People understood, people might have not, who knows, but I understood where you were coming from. Coming back, being in his face, hovering over him, putting your hands on him. And yes, it was a finger on the nose, but no physical contact needed to be had at all. You lost me completely. Your argument doesn't even matter at this point. That's number one. Number two, I don't appreciate that production made it seem like the group decided to eliminate her. Based on the code of conduct of whatever your rules are in production, they should have extracted her right away. I really feel like they should have extracted her right away.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about Naeem. Was Naeem actually oblivious to Zadia's behavior, or was he trying to stay in the game?
I say oblivious. I know. I say oblivious. Cause what was he giving?
Girl,
Naeem barely got airtime. He was giving nothing.
And he was trying to say, you don't know when you're filming how much airtime you're getting. You don't know that.
True.
But I really, really believe he was trying to stay. He was trying to stay, because you cannot tell me the behavior that you've heard about at other deliberations, the behavior that you witnessed on the retreat, and the behavior that was relayed to you at this deliberation is not cause for concern. And he's like, oh, well, that ain't happened to me, so I'm not pressed.
I think he thought he was different. I do. I think he thought he was different. I think that he was also betrayed by the booty. And I think that they have, yes. And I know that like they have a lot of interest in terms of like the fitness stuff. And so I can just see in his mind, he was just like, she takes off so much of this stuff. Who cares about this other stuff? It's never been like a personal experience between her and I can overlook it. And so I think that he really was trying to be like that patient person for her to like come running into his arms. So I think that's how he was playing it. It just came off very nonchalant or whatever, but I think it was genuine.
I think he was trying to stay. I think he realized his only lifeline was Zadia. And once she goes, his time is up. I find it very hard to believe that somebody exhibits abusive behavior. Let's call it what it is. Somebody exhibits abusive behavior and you really don't see it as a problem. I think I would have sided with him if he was like, you know what, I definitely want to proceed with caution after hearing and seeing what I've heard and seen. But I'm still interested in getting to know her. I would have been okay with that. He, with all the confidence in his throat, said, well, she hasn't been that way to me. Does she have to be that way to you for it to matter?
Arrogance. I think it's arrogance. I don't think his intentions were pure, but I think it was very arrogant. And like, that's what made him like have blinders on. I can't see it as anything other than him wanting to stay. I can't. Nah, I can't. And then, yeah, I was very annoyed with how she made it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal when they were talking about it with Phil at the elimination. And she was laughing. And then he was like, he was like, oh, I can't co-sign that. She's like, nobody should.
okay, whatever. And then his parting talk with Tommy, all of a sudden, you're having this revelation. Now that she's gone for real, you're like, you know what? I always knew that I shouldn't really accept that behavior. You know, I always knew that I should proceed with caution if I chose to proceed. Yeah. I always knew that. Mm-hmm.
I think
Lies.
the two could be true. I think that like sometimes when you engage with somebody, you see the red flags, but you're just like, maybe it will be different with me kind of situation. And then once you think about it even more.
But say that. I would have rather he said with Tommy.
Yeah.
I really thought maybe I would be the exception, but I'm realizing that that wouldn't be the case regardless. And that was an error in my judgment. Yeah. But to say, oh, no, I always knew. No. That's my opinion. You got anything else on Naeem?
I would like to hear more of his backstory for the reunion.
Okay.
Because he just seemed
very... What would that do for you?
It would make things make sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
So now that we're approaching the end of the season, who do you think will come out of the season as a genuine connection? Because I don't even want to say couple, because Ready to Love's reputation is to give us absolute dookie when it comes to love. But yeah, who do you think are going to be the connections? If I was to make a prediction, maybe Sabrina and Walter as a connection. Frank and Sydney, because I don't think Sydney is going to choose Phil over Frank. And I don't see Frank choosing Mumin over Sydney. Who else is on this damn show? I think that's it.
For me, it would only be Sydney and what's his name? Frank. That's it. Yeah.
You don't even see Sabrina and Walter like ending it as saying like, oh, okay.
No, like maybe, and then they wouldn't last at least like max 3 months max. But I just don't.
Let's not even project past the show. I mean, at the end of this season, who do you think is gonna like choose each other?
Okay, fine. Walter and Sabrina. But okay. Yeah.
Because I don't see anybody, regardless of who chooses who, I don't see anybody lasting past 3 months. I really don't. That also then leads me to, so we know behind the scenes thing, a lot has been happening that we're not privy to. What are your thoughts on that, especially coming from 2 seasons ago, they were all in the same house. So that like, there wasn't much there was behind the scenes in terms of like, we didn't get to see it, but connections that were pursued were all happening in the presence of everyone. So like, what are your thoughts on, you know, people making these connections and then Aisha and Adante coming weeks later talking about, oh yeah, we've been talking this whole time when we never saw that storyline even develop. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's whack. I don't know what else. Like, it's whack. And then it makes our opinion of all those people like really biased. Like, how are we supposed to know? And then there'll be like episodes where you don't even see certain individuals.
Yeah. For me, it is irritating just because I know a lot of people come out of the show and they're talking about, guys, remember it's reality TV. They're trying to push certain narratives. So I might have a connection with Willis, but they want the storyline between me and Mark. So they're going to keep showing me and Mark, but really I'm connecting with Willis on the side. That's very irritating. I feel like production has too many hands in the pot. So what are your thoughts on how they could make changes to the show, or should they just call it?
I don't want them to call it because it really is a good concept.
Mm-hmm.
They need some kind of third-party intervention professional, not just Uncle Tommy. Like they need.
Everybody keeps saying that too.
Yeah, like they need like a counselor, a therapist. I feel like we should know more about their friend group before we actually meet them. Like, I would like to see how they operate in their day-to-day lives, kind of thing. I don't know what that would look like, but I just need like more of a holistic approach to these people, because it's just not doing it. Like, and then it's very conversation heavy as well, and like relationships are for sure conversational and stuff, but it's also a lot of action, and it's kind of, it just seems like broken promises every time someone opens their mouth. Like, so yeah.
For me, my problem with it as well is that okay, so there's another show on OWN called Put a Ring on It, right? And they have Dr. Nicole, and she not only sends people on the dates, but sometimes she does one-on-one like counseling sessions with each person in the partnership. She does the partnership together. She does a reconvene where all the couples come together and they talked about what they learned this week, whether they're going to keep pursuing other people. Like, I feel like that is where I would definitely love to see another hand in the pot. I wouldn't mind another hand in the pot if it was third-party intervention, like you're saying, because right now where it stands, there's nothing about the show that is different from what they already experience in real life. You are just now closed off to dating people that you would choose to meet, and you're forced to date the people handpicked. But realistically, they go home, which is regular life. They text, call whoever they want to, regular life, come on these dates, regular life. Like the season where they were at the resort, at least it isolated them from work, from family, from whatever, to fully focus on these people. It also adds that element of watching your potential connection connect with somebody else and kind of putting a fire under your ass from that. I mean, granted, ain't nobody come from that either. In terms of ending the show, how it ended, nobody came from that. There's been connections post, but yeah, I feel like definitely bring in the isolation element again. And I always bring the example of Big Brother, where a lot of couples come out of Big Brother very, very strong because proximity strengthens relationships. It just does. Like there's this one couple from Big Brother Canada, Dem and Ika. I think they're like 10 years apart, where she's the older one. She's Black, he's white. She has 2 kids. Like she was like, in the real world, I never would have dated you, let alone met you. But because we're put in this, environment and we're forced to really get to know each other, no distractions, all day, continuously, we forge this connection. And now they've been together for like 4 years or whatever, right? I need Ready to Love to give us something that changes from what you already experience in real life. Otherwise, we're just watching people date. We're not like curating an environment for strong relationships.
I'm also curious about what their vetting system is, because
is there
like
one?
they're just choosing anyone who's like an entrepreneur or someone who's like an executive and just is like really good looking. That's all it seems like.
Yeah.
Like at least give them a chance and like put people who you might think be able to like match properly, and not just take off some kind of whatever is going on in pre-production. But yeah,
I would agree. So you don't have anything else besides third-party intervention? Other tweaks production can make? Do you feel like they're very heavy-handed in the show?
Yeah, make the season longer. Like,
okay.
Yeah, it's just like, if you're really talking about Ready to Love and like especially by the time they meet the friends, okay, fine, but by the time they meet the family, it always feels incomplete every single season. It doesn't seem justified as to why anybody should be meeting each other's families. So yeah,
I would agree. I would say also make the season longer. Maybe not the season itself, but the process. Make the process longer. Maybe like add in workshops. I know this is a weird show to quote, but Too Hot to Handle has these workshops to help build intimacy that's deeper than just physical with these people. It's wasted on them because they're just sex driven, but the concept is good. Bring in something that breaks down the walls between each couple. Maybe like specific talking points, because I'm telling you, the sex conversation I understand that it comes up, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like it was very heavy this season, heavy on the who's trying to have sex before marriage, because I am.
Yeah.
I'm just like, geez, okay.
Yeah. It doesn't seem genuine, like the way that they build connections. Even like the challenges each week, like if it could be in the form of like a workshop or in the form of like something a little bit more intentional, where it's like forced intimacy that you can't fake or run away from. Because even when Shiloh tried to do the thing with Phil, it's like his questions were so like, he looked uncomfortable, like he was trying to, like he's like sitting on the edge of his seat, like he didn't
I think he didn't want to go deep with Shiloh anymore in general. See, but I think her intentions were good. It was just wasted on him.
Yeah, I think something like that should be like not forced, but like, you know, preliminary for them to do. So it can like, yeah, I don't know, just get straight to the point about like, are we going to work together or not?
I would say as well, I would like them to eradicate the dinner dates. I feel like, I don't know if they're actually eating on the dates, because it could just be staging, but do something interactive that helps you learn about the person, learn about their mannerisms, learn, like, you know what I mean? And I don't mean the roller skating. I mean like, okay, so if I think about, I don't know who here who's watching this video watches Love on Stage on the Kev on Stage Studios app, but they had like a show and tell date where the different things that you're showing and telling had to do with your history. So the last gift somebody gave to you, something that reminds you of your childhood, something that's representative of your passion, just different things where you get to impress the person, like, look at my accolades, look at what I've collected over the years or whatever, but also see deeper into who I am as a whole. And then another date that they had was a game night where you can see the person's wit, you can see how competitive they can be, you can see how they interact in social settings with other people. What's another date that they had? They had a painting date, which is a little bit more subdued, you know, just like more interactive stuff that's geared towards learning the person and not just like, oh, look at me and you. We look cute together, don't we? Let's talk about how cute together we look. Let's talk about that all night.
Has parenting styles ever come up in any of the seasons? I don't think so. Like majority of the people are parents and they never discuss that. But like they'll talk about I want kids, but they never talk about what that looks like. And additionally, into like third-party intervention, I really liked it when Uncle Tommy's wife was there. And
you know, a lot of people didn't like that.
Really? Why?
I don't know. A lot of people felt like when she was talking with the women, she wasn't actually adding any advice that they could implement in their connections. They thought she was just kind of there as a sounding board. And then that was it. That I thought it was nice to have her. I do feel like there could have been more that she could have given, but a lot of people were actually not a fan.
Well, yeah, I was going to say not just to be a sounding board, but somebody who can like really mentor them through, because it seemed like from that perspective, they did enjoy at least seeing a woman be able to like relate to them and then also give them advice and stuff. So I don't know. I think it would be cool if maybe Uncle Tommy was more hands-on with the men and then like a woman was more hands-on with the women.
I agree as well, because when I think about this last episode, he was so open with talking about, you know, the altercation that happened at the retreat between, you know, Zadia and them. But when it actually was happening, he was like, we didn't come here to talk about that. We came to talk about the love. You could have gotten to the root of the problem right here. But no, you want to talk about it with the guys. When the guys aren't even it. It was the women. It's the contention between the women. I was like, nah, we either need another woman in here or we need somebody who's actually qualified to handle these kind of situations, because he's a host. He's not a matchmaker. He's not an expert in relationships. He's been in a relationship, but he's not an expert on, you know, interpersonal dynamics, interpersonal relationships, how to navigate dating, how to find love post-marriage, post-divorce, post-grief, post all these things that a lot of people are struggling from, how to get back on the horse when you have 3 kids and 3 baby mamas, when you've never had a child and you're approaching 50. Like, he's not equipped. He's not. I don't know why I got hot about that, but I did.
He also seems very tired this season as well. Like, he just seems irritated. Oh my God.
You know, Camille has that effect.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But dang, like.
Yeah. Well, those are all the thoughts that I had. I don't know if you had any last thoughts, any predictions for predictions for next episode. What do you think happened between Phil and Shiloh?
Either someone laid hands or he progressed his relationship in a drastic way with the other girl, and Shiloh was like in distraught, and he's probably gonna be like, oh, I could have communicated that better, or some, I don't know, or he's hiding something. I don't know.
You like you think they had sex? Like he had sex with Sydney or something?
I don't know, but something that would have progressed the relationship that would really upset Shiloh.
The only progression after what they did was sex, in my opinion. And from Vernisha last season, she was saying, listen, people were knocking boots, okay? People were knocking them boots. I feel like it is a physical altercation. I do. Because why is Tommy here? Why was Tommy speaking with such vigor? Why was she like visibly distraught? Phil kind of looked, I'll have to rewatch it, but Phil did kind of look like not scared. What's the word? I don't know. I can't think of the word, but it just looked very uncomfortable. And also just before that scene, they showed a scene of her expressing to him how he could have done better in communicating where he was at with her, with Sydney, with whatever. Like, so she's clearly annoyed about it. Now it's just how she went on a, what does your cup say? No, lift it up. Oh, did I stutter? I'm deceased.
Did I stutter?
Yeah. Something must have escalated in some kind of way. Cause we bring in Tommy in it. I don't know, child. I don't know.
Well, I'm excited to see it. I think another prediction will be that Frank and Mumin, there's no reason why they should be together after that episode. Walter is such a wild card. I don't even know what to expect from him. He was actually more of a letdown than Phil was because I had such high hopes for him. Yeah, I don't know, but I can see Mumin going out really not classy. Yeah, I could see her.
The way she was annoyed at the table this week.
Yeah, I could see her going out like not impressed. Oh, and that's another thing that I wanted to talk about this season is a lot of the women, they did not take getting eliminated lightly at all. No. Like they all took it very, very personal.
But I think because when you hear them talk when they leave the show, they say like, these guys don't pursue us. True. We are doing a lot of the legwork. So True. I think when you put in so much effort and it's still like, the effort wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Yo.
True. What? But there's been instances where sometimes they do make good points about who the person is, like with Tissia.
Yeah, Tissia, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, well, you may not agree with everything that they said, but like, there's a learning opportunity somewhere there. Like, I don't think there's ever been any like horrendous accusations where you're like, whoa, she did not deserve that. But they all just take it there. It's just like, dang.
Yeah. What do you think of Aisha's family? Because Aisha's mom, wasn't her mom or her brother who was like 3 kids, 3 baby moms?
I think it was both of them. I feel like they're grown. Her and Dante are grown. They have good communication styles. So, oh, snap. What do we think about her and Dante? I think they will be a successful couple. Why did we forget about them? Or do you not think so? I think they're the most promising. Sorry, let me not say successful. I think they're the most promising.
I'll give you promising.
Yeah. I completely forgot about them. The most promising because they've developed at a really natural rate. So I'll give them that. Yeah, but I think the only thing would be like the children's stuff and like how hands-on he is with his children and like being a blended family, because that takes a lot of work, and that it's not something to be romanticized. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I agree with you in that they're grown and it doesn't have to be an issue if it doesn't have to be an issue. I would love to know how involved he is in these kids' lives. It's not needed. It's not like something we need to know. It's just something I would like to know. And then also his dynamic between all three mothers, because before I get into a relationship with anybody who has children, I need to know how you and that woman relate. And it's not even a fear, because I know a lot of people are like, what if they get back together? That's not even my fear. Mm-hmm. My fear is if you disrespect any woman who plays an important role in your life, mm-hmm. I don't need to be in your life.
Yeah. So, agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have many predictions after that. I just know this reunion,
girl, it's gonna be so good.
They might have to do 3 parts, and I hate multiple part reunions.
Yeah,
but they might have to.
I hope they do.
They might have to. I can see Camille being ready to release the clip, because she has been on social media, like, in her comments, fighting for her life. Okay. Yeah. Fighting for her life. And then you had Zadia, her, and Shiloh. Yes. On a live. Yeah, I think they were on a live talking about like, it wasn't even colorism. Do you guys know what colorism is, Lottie? Ooh, let me ask you that. Do you think Brown Girl Squad was colorism, or was it just okay, go into that.
Is there really much to say? Like,
she's adamant on saying it was not colorism, and so was your boy Naeem. They just clicked. It was they just gravitated
towards Brown Girl Squad. I don't know. That's weird. I'm sorry. I don't see it any other way. Even Camille seems so irritated, like especially irritated when what's the girl?
Aisha.
No, not Sabrina. The one who's
Shiloh?
No, the other one.
Zadia? I mean, no. Sydney?
Yes, so when Sydney came, like, she just seems so disgusted to have her around. So, like, if it's not a colorist thing, it was definitely a divide. Like, there's some kind of division there between them and the other girls. So, but I'm banking on it's the colorism.
I err on the side of it being colorism as well, just because I don't see a reason in making a distinction that was color related in a show that's about all Black people, because you're all brown. Yes. So if it was like, East Coast Squad, okay.
Yeah.
Or like Harlem, or something
from the Bay,
Bottle Club, the Bottle Girls, something that had nothing to do with a color.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you put the color in there, and then you see Zadia, Moomin, and Camille on one side, and the only reason why Aisha wasn't there is because they don't like her.
Yeah.
And the other women happen to be fair-skinned.
Yeah.
It's giving very much color.
High school? Okay, yeah, that too.
Oh, high school as well, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's all I have. Any last thoughts? Here. Any last regards? Anything you want to promote to the people then?
Well, I have a little podcast coming out with my friend over here. We have a podcast coming out called I Like the Way You Think podcast with another friend of ours.
I hate when you say it like that.
Laverne. So you guys will be able to, have insight into how 3 friends with different experiences, similarities with different upbringing and experiences, kind of learn from each other and navigate our mid-20s and stuff. And it will be an evergreen kind of like episodes. So yeah, it won't be much of hot topics. A lot of it will just be an opportunity to learn, to grow, kiki, and all of that. But yeah, I think that's it.
As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. You guys already know the vibes. Yeah, be in the comments. Let us know what you think. What am I trying to say? Don't hesitate to share your opinion, whether you agree or disagree, in love. Okay? Because I don't need nobody coming in here being rude. It's tacky and you will get blocked. But yeah, we're definitely open to opposing opinions. I want to hear all y'all's thoughts. I want to hear where you think I was absolutely crazy to say that, or where you're like, yes, queen, you're absolutely right. Let us know in the comments below, and we will see you in the future.